Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT. I came here to talk some boxing with 1,000 True School Sports subscribers. Now, to my right, we have my dad. He's here. We're here to talk about all things Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz, aftermath of that fight. We were live for it, so if you guys weren't there live, you really missed out. It was
oh man, it was great.
we only had to do a lot, to have 3 different live fight reactions because the iPhone kept messing up, but
Yeah.
it was fun. We had fun.
But we did it.
But we did it. Somehow we managed to do it. So I wanted to ask you, and I wanted to kind of just discuss, like,
Yeah.
where does Anthony Joshua go from here after this shocking loss?
Wow, this is like a shock. This is like a shock. He's gotta be. When you go into shock, you don't come out of it right away.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I want to say a tractor trailer running over a small Mustang, crushing them through. Once you get a devastating loss like Anthony Joshua got, honestly, I don't think he's gonna come out of it for a while. But that being said, it's also a wake-up call for you to realize that you're going to have to make corrections,
Adjustments.
And it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down, it's about getting back up. Ali did it, Frazier did it, Holyfield did it, Riddick Bowe did it, all the greats did it. So it's about you getting your legacy up and doing what you have to get done. Mentally, it's going to take him a while. I think reality hasn't really set in yet. The same way that it holds true with Andy Ruiz, as far as him winning the belts. He thinks it's a dream. He hasn't come out of that yet. And for Joshua, it's really affected his whole persona. Not even him. Even Eddie, if you look at Eddie Hearns, his promoter,
They seem to have lost a bit of their aura.
Yeah, because nobody, not even me as a betting man, would have thought that Ruiz was going to come in.
Only a handful of people in the live fight reaction said they bet on Ruiz. They won a lot of money last night.
Yeah,
so big shout out to you guys who bet on him.
Yeah, you guys called it out.
Good call.
I was going for the champ because I thought the champ had it all. But in reality, it's like my son says, nothing ever matters until that bell rings. There you go.
There you go. Okay, well, they were saying, I've heard a couple of things. I've heard that from the Eddie Hearns side of things, I've heard that they're going to target a rematch in England, which, I don't think, honestly, look, I know they have a rematch clause, and I understand the whole principle of, Joshua gave him the opportunity, but, homeboy, you just got slapped up, knocked down 4 times. You don't deserve no rematch in England. If you're gonna do a rematch, you do the rematch where Andy Ruiz wants to do the rematch, because now Andy Ruiz is in the driver's seat of boxing. You lost that.
Yeah, that is so true, but then again, we don't know when they negotiated the actual contract for this fight, where the fight was held in Madison Square Garden, New York. If and when they did the rematch clause, it was already instilled in the clause whether it was going to be in the UK or not. So we don't know that. Yes, we don't know the possibility if that was already marked in stone if that happened. But that being said, I agree with my son that Anthony Joshua is no longer the A side no more.
Got to work his way back up, like in the belts back.
Yeah. The reality is, Ruiz put a beating on him. Knocked him down 4 times, not just 1 time. 4 times.
It was a long, drawn-out beating.
So
this wasn't like Buster Douglas versus Tyson, because that was just like boom. Oliver McCall versus Lennox Lewis was boom. This was a long, prolonged beating.
Yeah. So that being said, I think I have to agree. Right now the big dog, the new king in the heavyweights, right now with the 3 belts,
Andy Ruiz.
So until somebody defeats him. Everybody got coming up on his door, and he decides who comes in, who comes out.
Yeah. I said something interesting during the live last night. I said, Anthony Joshua's now lost, so now his career really begins. This is where his career really begins because, I don't want to sit here and say everything is in smooth sailing for him because, it's boxing and everybody goes through trials and tribulations in this sport. This is not an easy sport. It's not even an easy sport to cover, let alone actually be a fighter.
Exactly.
So, with Anthony Joshua, it's like he's had things go really well for him early in his career. He won the gold medal, and a lot of people thought he got gifted the gold medal. He won the gold medal.
Wow.
He won a world title under the perfect circumstance because Charles Martin got the belt.
Right.
They overpaid him, so he beat Charles Martin. Unified titles in less than 5 years as a pro, pretty much. Yeah. Beat some pretty good contenders along the way. Had a fun title run. Definitely put his stamp on boxing. Being a flag bearer for the sport worldwide. But what I wanted to say was he's in a great position now because it's like, we talk about like the great heavyweights like Holyfield and Ali and these guys.
Right.
People always go on and on about, Ali was 4-time heavyweight champion or Holyfield was 4-time heavyweight champion. Well, They didn't come 4-time heavyweight champion by going undefeated. They lost.
Yeah.
They had to come back, and they had, Holyfield lost to Bo. Ali lost to Frazier. So this is his chance to follow in the footsteps.
And we always say boxing is about legacy, so now we really see how he wants to write his legacy.
Yeah.
Does Anthony Joshua want to be remembered for being knocked out 4 times by a challenger that wasn't even predicted to even 15-1 odds to even win? Or does he want to come back and rebound and get back up? Like every champion, to come back and try to redeem himself and get them belts back and relinquish his title the way or his legacy to a better perspective in the box, leave a better perspective, positive perspective on the boxing fans.
Absolutely. So for him, at this point in his career, it's boots to the ground. He's got to leave his ego at the door, and he's got to make those improvements. One thing I found interesting, because I was going through my archives of my videos, and remember last year around this exact time, I did my heavyweight interview special with Stacey McKinley. If you guys haven't seen that, I'll leave a card for you guys. You can check it out for yourself. But I interviewed Stacey McKinley, who's trained 6 heavyweight world champions, 30 world champions in total.
You name it.
Damn near Hall of Famer, pretty much.
Right.
I asked him at the time, because Joshua was, he was the king of the division. Right. And Fury wasn't even in the picture at that point in time.
Right.
I asked him, I said, Stacey, what do you think Anthony Joshua needs to do to improve? And he started pointing things out, like, he needs to have different variations of his jab. He needs to have different variations of his right hand. He's got too many muscles. He needs to actually lose some weight. Like, he said these things, and the funny thing was, if you look at the date I uploaded the video,
right,
it was June 1st, 2018.
That's crazy.
And on June 1st, 2019, he lost heavyweight title.
That is so crazy.
So I saw that today. I said, wow, that's crazy. But I'll leave that for you guys, so you guys go check that out.
And that's a good point. I mean, when a Hall of Famer trainer like that comes out and calls out different things that a boxer have, and like the saying goes, you can't judge a book by its cover. Anybody would have thought that the gladiator Anthony Joshua with the muscles and the bulk and everything was going to knock this guy out. It'd be like a hammer hitting a thumbtack. Yeah. Easy as can be, but it turned out that the muscles actually, all that muscle mass he had, just like Stacey McKinley said, the Hall of Famer trainer said, it works against you at some point. And I have to agree to that to some extent.
No, that it does, and what I also say too when it comes to Anthony Joshua, I want to talk about him and Deontay Wilder, because now that Ruiz has beaten him, that mega fight, as much as it would have been worth, it's not worth as much anymore because Anthony Joshua took a loss.
Wow.
And I talked to a lot of people, Joshua fans, Wilder fans, neutral fans, and talking to the Wilder fans, they say, man, Wilder's a genius. Al Heyman is a genius, because Wilder, the initial offer last year, the first offer that Eddie Hearn made to him, they offered him a $15 million flat fee.
Remember that.
And then, as earlier this year, he got the $100 million offer from DAZN, right? So now he still decided to bet on himself and kind of prolong the fight, and Joshua wound up losing. So from this point forward, unless Joshua's able to get those belts back, Deontay Wilder is the A side of all negotiations.
That's crazy how just one fight can actually change things around, how that domino effect on everybody in boxing, their positioning as it goes forward. But I mean, Joshua right now, Wilder right now, he's got that belt, and he can say, I bet on myself and I made the right decision, and look what happened to Joshua. But at the same token, I've been saying this all along, I have to give respect to Ruiz, because he took this shot. He went and did it, and he didn't.
5-6 weeks short notice.
Yeah, and he didn't make no excuses.
Kanaki had the opportunity.
And Bronzemore had the opportunity several times. They didn't take
White had the opportunity.
Right. So at the end of the day, you gotta give all the respect to Anthony the Destroyer, and he took the fight and he took the risk and he bet on himself. And guess what? He came out a winner. Just think of it. If Wilder would have been there, done it, King Kong would have done it, Big Baby would have done it. Who knows what the outcome would have been with them too?
Who knows?
Yeah. So
all hearsay at this point.
So now, so right now, it's what, Fury, Wilder, that are the big right now.
Well, that's probably Fury versus Wilder, the rematch is probably the biggest fight in the division.
Yeah.
So Ruiz versus any of them guys is a big fight too, because this morning, right? I've been following Andy Ruiz on Instagram for quite some time now.
Right.
And I remember yesterday before the fight, I checked his Instagram. I think he was around like 60,000 followers. Right. I checked it today. And last time I checked it, he's at 578,000 Instagram followers. He's becoming a superstar overnight.
That's what happens when you knock out the champ with the 3 belts in his hand, and who would have thought that the thoroughbred coming into the race was going to have his leg broken and lose the race and not cross the finish line. And that's what happened to Joshua. He came in there, he had the back and everything, and nobody thought anything about him. So, I mean, kudos to what happened as far as Bronze Bomber. We look at the perspective that he made the right decisions and this and that, but really he didn't do much of anything. It was really just Joshua taking on his own initiative to make this fight happen with Ruiz, and it just so happened that Ruiz took it, and he was the lesser man, and he came out and won it.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. So with this fight happening, Deontay Wilder and Fury gave their reactions. That's on Twitter.
Right.
Twitter. Fury was very classy in his remarks, basically saying, basically just giving Anthony Joshua a word of encouragement because he's been in a sunken place before,
right?
So he can empathize and that's what he did. He said, hey, we all have our bad nights. You've done a lot in boxing. You'll come back strong. You'll be a champion again.
That's it.
That's what he said. Wilder was the opposite. Wilder said, and this is what I wanted your thoughts on.
Yeah.
Wilder said that he was never a true champion. His career was full of lies, contradictions, all that stuff. And now we see who is running from who, hashtag to this day. And then he tweeted again, he said, the worst thing you can do in life is be an effing quitter.
Well, how can he say that when he didn't even take one shot at Joshua? He didn't get
Probably
one.
still won't.
Didn't even get in the ring with Joshua as many times as this negotiation. Then all of a sudden, if he really was really wanted the championship, right after he finished up Brazil, Toro Brazil, that's when he should have talked about Joshua. Did he do that? No. He said, well, think about it. And the fight will happen. So there again, he can't say that about nobody, because the big duck in this whole thing is called the not Bomb Squad, the Duck Squad.
Duck Squad.
And that's Bronze Bomber, because he had his opportunity. But now, because the unfortunate things happening in boxing where luck wasn't on Joshua's side last night, now he wants to come out and toot the horn and say all this other stuff. But yet, when the time the bell came ringing to him, when Joshua came knocking on the door several times, he didn't answer the call.
No, he did not.
So, all that he's saying to me doesn't mean nothing. And I'm gonna tell you this again, and I'm gonna say it this time. I could be wrong, whatever. If Ruiz and him fight, I'm taking Ruiz over him.
Or Wilder.
Over Wilder.
I don't know about all that, but
I will take him over him.
It'll be a good fight. What do you think about, I've interacted with a lot of Wilder fans. They finally hiked up their skirts and got into my comment section, and they said, oh well, he lost to Ruiz, so what do you think Wilder would have did to him? So what do you make of Wilder fans? I mean, these Wilder fans are acting like Wilder went in there and beat Joshua.
Yeah, the reality.
And so is Wilder himself.
Yeah, the reality is, all the Wilder fans is what I call dick riders.
Oh.
All right, they've been riding him all along, but they don't see the reality of it.
They can't be objective.
A good last night, a prime example. Did you see? Did the Wilder fans see the stadium, how full it was?
Well, they say it was only because all the
don't
British
matter who it
came.
is. It doesn't matter. It could be a whole bunch of criminals that come to see the fight. Don't matter who it is. The bottom line is the facts and numbers. The numbers speak for themselves.
No, they sold.
That's it.
Tickets sold.
The problem with the Bronze Bomber dick riders is that they don't want to see the reality of everything. Okay? The fact of the matter is, whatever Wilder's saying now doesn't mean shit, because actions speak louder than words, and he didn't take the action when they came knocking on his door, and Ruiz did. So all he's talking don't mean nothing to me. He's like a duck flapping in the air with no wings.
Damn. He's like them ducks in China. In Japan and China, they get chopped
yeah,
heads off and stuff.
I mean, I like Wilder, don't get me wrong, but I respect the fighter more that gets in the ring and does his talking in the ring, and he's had an opportunity just like King Kong. I've been saying this for several weeks now, and neither one took the challenge. Mm-hmm. So I can't respect that. Yeah. And don't tell me it's about money, it's about this and this and that. I can't respect that. Even after he beat Toro Brazil, he should have come out and said something. Did he say something? No. I'm talking about
he became a businessman. All of a sudden he's a businessman.
So Wilder, you can thank your sorry ass Finkel team that you have, and your team that's going to ruin your career, and you're not the top dog. You might have the belts now.
He's probably not even the second dog.
No. And let me tell you something. You forgot who gave you a good fight. Yeah, you might have beat him, but that lineal champion that you seem to say doesn't mean anything, oh yes, it's gonna mean something when you meet again.
Oh,
yes, sir.
Okay. I wanted to ask you too, with this fight happening, Are you happy with the effects that it's not having on the heavyweight division? Like, would you have been happier if Joshua would have won the fight and things would have just continued as they were, or are you happy with how things are now that the division has been flipped on its head?
I think it's good for what happened last night in a way, even though I wanted Justice to keep succeeding. For the simple fact that I was tired of the soap opera back and forth with the Joshua, the Bronze Bomber, and now the Fury, and Top Rank,
and Dylan White,
and this Dylan White didn't want enough money for this and that. So in a way, it was a blessing for boxing, kind of bringing somebody of an unknown or wasn't a true contender, so to speak, as people thought he was.
People weren't viewing him on that top tier, you know.
And he came out and he woke up he turned the whole division upside down, because nobody expected that man to come in there, not even myself, to come in and do the damage that he did to Joshua. And he didn't knock him out once, he knocked him out 4 times.
Outboxed him, outjabbed him.
So,
5'10" outjabbed Anthony Joshua.
The saying goes, don't judge a fat man like a title on a book cover. Because I thought he was out of shape, this and that, and that guy came in and annihilated Anthony Joshua. And I'm going to agree with what Stacey McKinley spoke to my son about. Maybe that muscle mass played a big thing in him, because he was gassing. I would have thought that what's his name, Ruiz, being the heavier guy.
Yeah.
I didn't see him really gas out that many times.
I was talking to one of my friends last night, and he was explaining to me like he was giving me his insights as to why he thinks Joshua gasses. So like he was saying, like when you're big and muscle bound, you gotta eat certain foods to constantly keep those muscles, you know, moving. But when you're fat, you don't have as much muscle, so you can just keep going and going and going and going.
That's so true. Yeah. Because you have to eat certain pasta, certain energy to maintain the muscle, the protein, this and that. You have to do all that. And the funny part about the whole thing too is that didn't you say Joshua hired a psychologist?
A sports psychologist, and Navy SEAL, all this stuff.
And all that stuff. Kudos to him. I respect him, but honestly, that'll probably mess his head up even more.
Should have hired you.
Oh man, I would have got him in there. And, you know, I would talk to him. I would let him know. I would have done what Stacey McKinley did to Big Trouble in that video.
Stop him?
Yeah, I would have slapped your ass up. What do you think? Get your ass.
Fuck wrong with you?
Yeah, fuck when you get in there, do that fight and get in there. What do you think you're here for?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's great that Anthony Ruiz, because now even the Bronze Bomber, Luis Ortiz, Dylan White, they're all gonna come and answer to the guy, the little guy.
Even Fury.
Yeah, and Fury, that nobody thought was gonna do it, and so let Bronze Bomber keep talking, because his actions say completely the opposite of what his words coming out of his mouth say, to this day.
To this day.
Yeah.
All right. You know, we'll wrap the video up with this. So Andy Ruiz, he's the first heavyweight champion of Mexican descent in boxing. We know that Mexican fighters sell lots of pay-per-views.
Wow.
They make lots of money. We know Canelo is like a money-making machine, but I mean, this is unique because we're talking about a guy who is Mexican. He's a heavyweight, and he's the guy in the division pretty much. He's the consensus heavyweight champion.
It's so crazy.
What do you think? What kind of effect do you think this is gonna have on the sport of boxing?
From a standpoint of view, from the Mexican side of it,
just everything.
It's gonna blow up more. I think it's gonna make it more. It's gonna make the heavyweight division more competitive now, because now you just can't just bet on the actual favorite and realize that everything is done in the ring. And you can talk the talk, but if you can't walk the walk, you'll find out when you get in the ring. And that's why I can't respect, and I keep saying this, I'm not trying to hate on Bronze Bomber, he talks too much. He talks about all this other stuff, but notice that he did it after the fact. He didn't do this before the fight.
No.
He did this after the fact, like he always does. So, again, I think this is great for the heavyweight division, what this guy did. He's actually the star on the Christmas tree that shines brightest of all.
Oh yeah.
And you got to give it to him. And whoever doubts him for being out of shape and whatever, they better go buy a bag of Snicker bars, because they worked on him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, Snickers. If Snickers and Taco Bell and all these companies were smart, they would get on the phone with him right tomorrow.
I tell you, you'll market it real quick.
And he'll do well.
He'll sell, of course. Especially now he's a world champion. Who knows?
He's very
Maybe
likable.
Snickers probably just called him, told me, I got to get supplies for you for being the world champion, to make a commercial. Who knows?
Yeah.
But he deserves all he got. I respect him, because he came back and said family, mom,
God,
and this and that. God, he gave God every praise. So, and what's funny about it, his demeanor didn't change prior to all the interviews before the fight.
No, it's the same. It's consistency.
And right, and that shows you the confidence and the belief that he had in himself.
Humility.
And you gotta thank his father and his training team that put that in his mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who do you want to see him fight next? You know, there's options out there for him. You got a Josh rematch. You got a Joseph Parker rematch. You know, now Joseph Parker all of a sudden he looks like an even better fighter because he beat him by the skin of his teeth to win the world title. You have there's Dillian White. He comes through against Rivas. There's maybe Trevor Bryan who might be the mandatory for one of those belts. There's a lot of guys, man.
I think right now, whoever he gets in a ring with,
Wilder as well.
Yeah, I guarantee you right now, nobody's ever gonna doubt his skills again. Nobody's gonna doubt him again. So whoever he takes, whether it's Wilder, I think the only problem that I feel he's gonna have, and I don't know why I say this, I just think something about Fury. Fury got that something about him that he will beat. I think he will demoralize Ruiz by style.
Beat him like decisively?
Not decisively, but he will if they fight, they beat him. But I think I'll put Ruiz against any of the other heavyweights right now, besides Fury, and I think he will beat every one of them. For the simple fact that he beat the big dog of all the dogs right now, except the one Dillian.
If a Joshua rematch that doesn't happen, like if he doesn't wind up fighting any one of the other champions or big names, the fight I want to see the most, and I know a lot of you guys out there are gonna say, oh well, we don't want to see that shit.
Yeah.
I would love to see him fight with Trevor Bryan, mandatory defense.
You know what? It'd be great.
Trevor Bryan was people forget Trevor Bryan was in the running for this fight. He didn't get it, and he actually is supposed to be fighting Manuel Char. So if Bryan gets through Char, which he should. I think he will.
He's a current WBA champion, actually.
Yeah, he should be beating the Manuel Chars of the world. If he does, at some point in time, I'd like to see those two meet up.
That'd be great because, I mean, at the same time, nobody knows a lot about Trevor Bryan.
Good fighter.
But, I mean, he's trained by one of the best trainers, Stacey McKinley, who comes from, rest in peace, Emmanuel Stewart from Kronk Gym, Detroit, and he was a famous world trainer. So, be careful what you wish for. But I think that would be a great fight. You know who I would like him fight?
Ruiz.
Just out of the blue?
Ruiz?
No.
Ryan?
Kolaki? What's the name? The heavyweight?
Adam Kalnaki.
Yeah, because the Polish guy from
Kalnaki.
Yeah.
Kalnaki actually called him out last night on Twitter.
Yeah, but but he turned out the
Joshua fight.
It's crazy, right?
He said, what am I supposed to?
Yeah, so, but I would like to see that fight because they're both brawlers.
They're both fat.
Yeah, but I would give the edge to Ruiz. Yeah, I would give and that's another thing, not on top of that one. That's probably another video, but Al Heyman, I don't know what it is. Now he's got all the
we
power.
can talk about it. We can talk about it.
Yeah, Al Heyman with the
Al
PBC.
Heyman now has all heavyweight champions.
I just want to know, does he feed him?
Andy Ruiz thanked Al Heyman on the zone.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like every fighter says that. So I respect Al Heyman. He's got the fighters. He's got everything. What is he gonna do? And you even brought it up. Not that.
I think Andy Ruiz saved PBC last night.
Money wise and everything.
Oh yeah, because I was trying to sell PBC.
Right.
They got all the heavyweight champions. So you think about it, right? If Al Heyman, because I know they still do cards on Fox. Could you imagine? Just imagine.
Right.
Could you imagine if Al Heyman decided to put Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder for the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship on Fox here in America?
Oh my God!
The kind of numbers it would do.
Wow, and money wise, it could be good for them, and that'd be great if it happens because it's a big easy fight to make. That's for sure because they both got in the same stable, and that would be a great fight to actually happen. So Ruiz has got all the opportunities to him. He's earned it, and whoever fighter he wants to fight, I'll be happy to see him fight because he deserved those belts, and he made history. So no matter what happens to him after the fact, it doesn't matter anymore. He beat the man that had 3 belts that nobody thought they could be beaten.
Yeah.
And he did it in style, Mexican style, whatever style you want to call it. He did it. So all respect to them. Give me your comments. Tell me what you guys think. This is what I feel about it. So, but I would like to, I don't know why, I just like to see them 2 brawlers.
Kanaki and
he
did a lot of punches.
Yeah. But I mean, I still think Ruiz would probably take him. But I mean that.
Needs it out. Kanaki, Ruiz it out back Kanaki.
Because I mean, right now.
More skill fighter.
But right now in the heavyweight, right now as we speak, Wilder's set up to have a fight with Ortiz, and then Fury's fighting this guy in June.
Schwartz, June 15th.
Who's Dylan? What's Dylan White?
Dylan White's fighting Oscar Rivas on July the 20th.
That's gonna be a big fight.
Yeah.
And even Ruiz said he would love to fight Rivas. He would come out and say a couple of days ago when I was watching one of his talking, he said that he would like to. He found seen him fight before. He's a good fighter. He was giving his critique on Rivas. he said it's not going to be easy fight for Dylan White.
Yeah.
So he probably see what.
You got a lot of heavyweights. You have Michael Hunter, who just got a win.
Yep.
You got Trevor Bryan, who's lying around in the weeds.
Waiting, just waiting.
Ivan Ditchko coming up in the heavyweight rankings.
Yep.
You got Hergovic, who just won against Gregory Corbin, knocked my boy Gregory Corbin out like a piece of trash.
There was nothing.
Really hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I heard all of us. But hey, boxing is boxing. So yeah, give your comments down. You tell us who you would like to see him fight against. Would you like to rematch with Joshua? Would you like Ruiz to fight Ronsbaum?
I don't mean to cut you off. But a lot of people think that Anthony Joshua should fire his trainer Rob McCracken, he's been his boxing coach since Anthony Joshua was an amateur. But Rob McCracken's not really, like, Anthony Joshua, to my knowledge, is the only heavyweight champion Rob McCracken has ever had. And he's kind of, as far as the skills go, he has plateaued. Like, he has not gotten better. So do you think maybe it's time for a change for AJ? Is that too hasty of a decision?
I'm too hasty. I'm a firm believer that if I'm the professor and you're the student and I teach you everything, we've had success all this time until now, why change it now just because everybody else is saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I don't think it's not fair to Joshua, and it's not even fair to the trainer. The only thing I will say, it's just like a coach in football or anything else. The coaches don't control the game when they're in the field.
No.
It's the players on the field.
Yeah.
The same with the boxer. I can teach you everything, but if you continue to just take everything and not continue to, I mean, not saying that he didn't keep working out and doing his thing, Joshua, but sometimes I don't think, I'm a firm believer that if you had success for so many years together, change it right now probably the wrong thing psychologically for Joshua.
So?
I think it will affect him even more. People pointing towards trainer. I don't. It was Joshua.
I think it's common. I don't think it's just. Honestly, I do personally.
Yeah?
I think he should. I think he should fire Robert Kraken right now.
Who would you want him to have?
Stacey McKinley.
Or
AJ, yeah.
yeah, because he didn't he coach the Klitschko's? Didn't he train?
No, Stacey didn't train at Klitschko's. He trained Samuel Peter, Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
A bunch of guys. I can't remember them all right now.
Well, I mean,
he trained take a guy like Samuel Peter, for example, right? Samuel, the Nigerian Vladimir Peter, was a fantastic fighter. In fact, he gave Vladimir Klitschko, Vitaly or Vladimir, one of them. He fought one of them. I think it was Vitaly.
Okay.
He gave them some of the toughest fights.
Wow.
And he eventually became heavyweight champion.
Right.
And Stacey, if you look at when Stacey got Samuel Peter to when he was fighting the Klitschko's, night and day difference.
Wow.
And I think look, for me, I'm a firm believer in I understand the principle of Robert Kraken being your trainer all this time, but I also think he's taken him as far as it's kind of like I'm a big Carolina Panthers fan, and we have had a fantastic NFL team for quite some time. We almost won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, but I've been telling you all this time, I think we need to fire Ron Rivera, not because I think he's a bad coach.
It's time for change.
I think he's taking the Panthers as far as he can go, and it's the same thing with Robert Kraken. I think he's taking AJ as far as he can go, and I think if AJ wants to become the best version of himself possible, he needs to have someone who knows how to train heavyweights, who knows how to get the best out of them. And I think Stacey McKinley is the kind of trainer that could really make AJ. I mean,
legitimate.
I think he'll take AJ from what he is now to being the poor man's Riddick Bowe. That's how good I think Stacey McKinley could make Anthony Joshua.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, it's all going to come down to what Joshua wants to do. Is his final decision. Yeah, but I kind of get a feeling about Joshua that he wants. I know he wants to go back home to the UK where he belongs, but that he wants more of his fights back home.
England?
I think even last night, even after that impression he had, he'd be glad to go back to the UK and just regroup and do things better. And I think most of the fights are going to be more in the UK than more in
the state. I mean, look, I think the stage was. Honestly, I think when you consider what was going on with Wilder, it was coming into people asking about Wilder Fury all the time, and then dealing a General Muller PED thing, and then now he gets Ruiz on 5 weeks notice, which is a step up in class.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had the fact that he changed up his whole training camp. Like he came here to Miami, and that was different. Yeah. Then he got hired a Navy SEAL and a sports psychologist. So there was just a lot of moving. This is not an excuse, but I think a combination of things. And on top of that, he wasn't improving as a fighter. He was winning, yes, but he wasn't improving.
Okay. So what improvements do you want to see in Joshua? Because I'll be honest, I've always told you this, that I think he's one of the best skilled heavyweights
and he is.
in boxing.
And he is.
But one thing that I realized more and more until I did last night was that you always told me he had that chin. His chin was always weak, right?
I never really said that.
No.
I never really said that. I always say, when I criticize Joshua, I say it's the muscles. He's too damn. He's the bodybuilder.
Yeah. So
look at him when he fought, dealing with the British title to now. It's like a 9-day difference.
So what improvements do you want from Joshua that you think is better?
Okay, well,
besides changing the trainer and a new change.
Number one, I would like to see him come in lighter. I think he's too damn bulky. He's too damn bulky, so that it's contributing a lot to him fatiguing early in fights.
Right.
He's a guy who, from an athletic standpoint, he could easily be a guy who's a 12-round fighter because he's so heavy and he's lifting weights and his muscles are so tight. He's sometimes a 4-round fighter in some of these fights.
Right.
So from that standpoint, I like to see that. That's number one. From a pure boxing standpoint, I like to see him. Obviously, I'm pretty much in a parody of what Stacey said. He throws one type of jab. He throws a regular straight jab.
Okay.
Straight jab. Okay. He doesn't know how to throw an up jab. He doesn't know how to flick his jab out there.
Right.
He doesn't do any of that stuff. It's just a regular
different type of jabs
jab.
that are out there.
Exactly. He's talented enough to have 3 to 4 to 5 types of jabs. Okay. So that's one thing I like to see him do. I would like to see him, when he does come in at lighter weight, work on his footwork a little bit, because if you watch him when he was fighting for the British title, like around that period of his career, when he was lighter, he can move. AJ can move, but the more he's won and the more money he's got in his pocket, the heavier he seems to become. And he's getting bulkier and bulkier. And that's probably the main reason why I think he needs to get rid of Rob McCracken. Not because I think Rob McCracken's a horrible coach, but because Rob McCracken as a trainer should be saying, damn, he should have seen this from the Carlos Takam fight. AJ was I think he came in at like 258 pounds.
Okay.
Massive. Fatigue. It was the same thing as last night. He fatigued. The only difference was Takam didn't really hurt him like Ruiz did.
Right.
So he should have seen that right then and there from that fight.
Should have been a wake up.
And he should have said, you know what, AJ, you're coming in too heavy. Let's work on maybe doing some more road work, losing some weight, taking some pounds off, because we can't have you when you step in class fatiguing in 3, 4, 5 rounds.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason why. Not because I think Rob McCracken's a bad trainer, because he's not a bad trainer. He's a very well decorated coach. I know his history.
Well, it's the same thing that it's different when we're talking about middleweights. But I'm a firm believer if you're with a good trainer and
Triple G and
and
Sanchez.
change is good. I agree with that too, but I just think that
if we go with that, then if you would apply that to certain fighters, like look at Kovalev, for example. If Kovalev would have stayed I know they had their fallout, but if he stayed with John David Jackson, then he wouldn't have had a trainer in his ear telling him, okay, go Kovalev. Buddy McGirt, but he wouldn't have had Buddy McGirt in his ear to get him back to the world title.
Right, well, that's one, and two, but a lot of things it was like I always say, sometimes it's part of the fighter, it's not the trainer. And Kovalev a lot of times didn't want to listen to his corner, or to even David Jackson or whoever was training at the time. He just wanted to do his own thing. But when he's lost those belts, he realized, hey, I got to make an adjustment, and I have to change my team, which he did. And he got Buddy McGirt. McGirt told him right away, you don't listen to me right from the beginning, or you're out of here. And they actually became like peanut butter and jelly. They became together.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
and you saw Kovalev turn in the best performance of his career.
So I agree with what you say. Good point. Yeah.
So you can't. I understand the loyalty. I understand the principle of the matter. And I think as long as he goes about it the right way, as long as he doesn't just up and not pay his trainer what he owes him, and as long as he does it in a respectful manner, then he's free to do it. Because at the end of the day, this is his career.
Yeah.
And if he takes a loss, guess what? Robert Parker's gonna go home, get paid, and go to the boxing gym the next day and train whoever he's got to train.
And still make money.
Anthony Joshua, this is his career. He's the one who's got to live with the results more than anybody. So he has to make the right decision for himself.
That's true.
And I think he should be trying to get with a trainer that will get the best out of him. And I honestly felt, and you know what's funny? I've always felt for like a while, like his last 6 fights, that Rob McCracken is a solid coach. He brought him this far, but I really don't think he's going to improve much more than he is. So you need a guy who's trained heavyweights, because the more I spend time around Stacey McKinley, the more I realize, look, training heavyweights is a different ballgame.
It's a different monster, like he said, and to be a trainer around heavyweights like he has been around. I'm talking about Stacey McKinley. He knows when he sees what adjustments got to be made and how to groom a heavyweight to better himself in the ring and in his career. So and there again, it goes back to, like I said, it's up to what Joshua wants to do. I don't think, but I also don't think. Yes, it was a devastating loss. It was a surprise to the whole world. That should just be the cost and effect of your training being dumped, because it might backfire on you. But Stacey's resume, and if Stacey ever mentioned that to you in interviews, that you would love to train
He
Joshua.
never really, no, he doesn't really mention it because honestly, Stacey's really invested in Trevor Bryan. You know,
All right.
He's taking Trevor Bryan from being a fat amateur
Yeah, I know.
to now being on the verge of challenging for
He
a world
flew to
title.
see. I remember that. Did he tell me the story how you met
No,
Trevor?
that'll come out soon. But
Okay.
he took Trevor from being a fat amateur
Yeah.
to prospect to now contender, being on the verge of a world title shot.
It's coming. It's
And
got
he's
to
taking
come.
his time with him, so he's invested in him. But I guarantee you, if Anthony Joshua came walking through the doors of Stacey McKinley's gym, I call it Kronk, South Florida.
Yeah.
If he came to Kronk, South Florida, and he knocked on the door and he said, "Stacey, hey, I've been seeing your stuff on True School Sports.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's go. Let's do
you
this.
have a great resume. I wanted to soak up some knowledge, and I want to work with you and see how this goes."
Wow.
I guarantee you, Stacey would train him. I guarantee it.
I mean, he's worked with the likes of Tyson and so many other fighters that are great. And Emmanuel's still one of the greatest trainers of all time. That may he rest in peace. So yeah, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. And yes, sometimes you have to wait. Patience. Sometimes the best thing to getting where you want to get at and grooming your fighter the way you want to groom him. And that's what Stacey McKinley has done with Trevor Bryan. So I could see him actually getting Joshua in there and doing the same thing with him.
Rick Glazer had a post today on his Facebook, and he actually quoted Stacey. I forgot what the post said, but I commented below because the post was about Joshua.
Right.
And Stacey had commented about the Ruiz Joshua fight. So I commented and I said, Stacey should train Joshua. If he did train him, he can make Joshua damn near unbeatable. That's how that's how good I literally think that if Stacey McKinley got proper time to really train Joshua and groom him, he would literally make Joshua the poor man's Riddick Bowe.
Wow.
And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean like because Riddick Bowe is arguably the most talented heavyweight ever.
Yeah.
He's up there. He's one of the most talented
heavyweights. You gotta respect him for that.
But I think that's how that kind of impress Stacey McKinley on him. So look, I'm just
we'll
kidding, Daniel. I cover boxing on
just
True School
talking
Sports.
boxing. Love your comments, whatever you guys say. And we want you guys, what you guys think Joshua should do next. Let us know in your comments
Let us
below.
know, man. What happens when you're from Joshua?
And please subscribe and hit that like button.
Smash that like button. Smash that like button like it's your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh shit, this guy's crazy, but yeah.
But yeah, Vince. Yeah, we're 37 minutes in.
So,
you guys comment, do all that good stuff, and like what we say in every single video. You can love us, or you can hate us. I'm just kidding, Daniel. He's just a kid from Lowell, Massachusetts, New England. So, until next time, take care, guys. Keep your head up, AJ.
Yeah.